Today I'm going to show you how to do a quick retouch. This is a model I photographed very recently. First thing you have to know is you have to make sure you get a good image. You need to get a good image to get a good outcome. And then you come to Photoshop and you work on your background. Make sure definitely what you want. So I'm going to work on my background right now. Okay, so that's it for the background. So what you do now is make a copy of the background. So you can just press Ctrl+J, or you can just click and drag. I prefer to click and drag. Okay, so you name the first one color, then you name the second one high frequency. Okay. So what you do right now is to group the two. You drag it into the folder, or you could just click Ctrl+G. So what you do right now is to hide this layer, then highlight, select the color layer, then you go to filter, blur, Gaussian blur. You just blur out the image to a reasonable, we just give it a reasonable blur. This is not what we're looking for. I think 7 is okay. 7 is okay. That's for me. I think 7 is okay. When you are done with this one, select the high frequency and you go to image, apply image. Then remember we are actually doing this on the color layer. So you select the color layer, you go to the blending mode, then you select subtract, then you make sure your scale is at 2 and your offset is at 128, then okay. But you should remember this is a frequency separation that we are doing, so you might want to rename the group frequency separation. So that's it. You then go select the high frequency, then go to the blending modes and then select linear light. It's going to bring everything back to normal how it is. Then you select the color layer, you right click on the brush and you select the mixer brush tool right here. You make sure this is ticked, you make sure this is unticked, you make sure your brush is clean. Then you come to your wetness. Your wet, I think 9 is okay, but I prefer 10. 9 is okay, but I prefer 10. So 9. Make sure your load is at 75%, your mix is at 90%, your flow is at 100%. Now you're good to go. Alright, so you zoom into your image. We are going to add black and white. Going to add black and white. It's just basically showing you the tones that you're working on right now. So just take more reds. So as you can see, you can see the dark side. So you select color and then you start working on it. Select your brush, increase the brush size. You work on the light tones, the middle tones, and then the dark tones. You make sure to blend them up. So like I said, try as much as possible to blend the middle tone, the light tone, and the dark tone. Now, to see whether you're on the right track, when you start, just turn off your black and white layer, and then you turn off your frequency separation, the group one. You can see a difference here. Yep, means you're on the right track. So you unhide your layer again, and you continue. Remember to increase your brush size and decrease your brush size whenever it's appropriate. You should make sure not to brush the dress, as you might end up spoiling your work. Now you can see the before and after. The before and after. When you notice this, that means you're on the right path. So you select the last two and you make sure your feather is at 18 pixels. Then select the skin. Then you go to filter, go to blur, then you go to Gaussian blur. So this is it. Now you're going to blur the skin so that you can get a more even and smooth skin. You can increase it, and then it will look unnatural, or this one clearly is worse. So what's at 7? What you can do is you multiply 7 by 3. So 7 by 3 will give us 21. Then you add plus 3, which will be 24. You see it's giving a good skin. So you do the same for the rest. You could just go to the previous where I taught you first, or you could just do it this way. Just right click and you go to Gaussian blur. When you think it has lost its brightness, you could just press Shift Ctrl F, then you select the opacity you want. I think 50 is okay. I want that place to bright. You do the same for this part too. So Shift Ctrl F. You could just select it like this, or you could just select it halfway, like select the top of the chin, the cheek, and then you select the side, and then you select the chin, and you work on them separately. You should always keep in mind not to overdo it, because when you overdo it, it will look unreal. You could just click on lasso or you could just press the shortcut key, that's L. Like I said, you could just work on different parts, or you could just work straight on a big space. So you could just select the whole of this place, or you could just select it halfway, select this place and select this place and select this place. It all depends on you. Brush and blur. Okay, so we are done with the color. I mean this layer, obviously. So now we are just going to remove those small spots, the small blemishes on the skin, as you can see. So a simple way to do this, you can just but first you have to select this layer, high frequency, then you could just select spot healing brush tool, but then to take a longer time you just do this. This one depends on your machine. If your machine is slow, I'd advise you don't use this one. Could work. You can see the stamp tool. So you zoom in to all those spots. You reduce your brush size. Remember, your hardness should be on 0%. Then you press Alt, then you select the area you want to hide this place. I mean where the blemish is. So select this area, then you click on the blemish. See, it's gone. So we'll do for the other ones. With the wrinkles, you could just select this area and you just clean it. But you should keep in mind that you cannot use a bigger brush size to clean a small blemish. You should make sure that the brush size should be in range so I can clean all blemishes. You can turn on the black and white layer and go through. It helps you find the blemishes that aren't visible when you view the RGB image. I'll say I'm okay with the skin. Okay, so that's it for frequency separation. So the next is we are going to do dodge and burn. So you select curves, then you reduce it, then you press Ctrl+I. That's going to invert the layer. Then click again, and you select another curve, and this time you increase it, the brightness. You increase the brightness, and you press Ctrl+I again to invert that layer. So the first one is going to be actually the dark layer. So dark. And the second layer is going to be light. So basically what the dodge and burn does is the places that are supposed to be dark, it's going to darken it a little bit more so that you get the actual skin color of the model, and the places that's going to be light, it's actually vice versa. So you're going to select the dark place, but because we have inverted it, you make sure that you have the white color selected. You select your brush and brush tool, then you zoom into the model a little bit. Actually you can do it from you can zoom out and do it, but I like to zoom in so that I know what I'm doing. So now that you're done with the dark and the light layers, you select them and you group them. Dodge and burn. And then you create a black and white layer. You could just create a black and white layer here, or you could just since you're done with the frequency layer, you're not going to use the black and white layer, so you could just drag it and bring it here. So here it is. Now we have the light tones, the middle tones, and the dark tones. So just like you did for the frequency separation, this time you have to do that one. That's the first one. You could just do it vice versa. You could just do the lights first, then you do the dark, or you could just do the dark and you do the lights first. So just make sure your brush, the hardness is at 0. The opacity should be, I prefer to use 15, but it should be around 15 to 10 to 15, that range. Actually when I'm done, I usually use 15, so when I'm done I can see if 15 is okay, then I'm good. If it's not, then I reduce the opacity here. then carefully brush over the dark side. And then you blend it with the middle tone. Try to create some kind of a cheekbone here. Then you select the white layer and you do the same thing. At this time, you brush over the white tones and then you blend it with the middle tones. So when you're done, you just turn off the black and white layer, and then you have it. You could feel skin color. So that's it. So that's dodging pen. Now that you're done, you can just add some colors to it. You just add a color lookup to it, or you could just selective colors. When you increase it, you increase the reds. You could just decrease the reds to give it a little more of a melanin color. So you can just play with your selected colors. And that's it. You are done for your retouch. Thanks guys for watching this video.